Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here for another Love and Marriage DC review. This episode annoyed me, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Go ahead and do me a favor and hit that like button. It does help me get my page out there in these YouTube streets. So we begin this episode picking up where we left off with Ashley calling Clifton a mean girl and letting us know that she's fought females that are bigger than Clifton. Joy says that as Ashley is talking, calling Clifton sassy and saying the different things that she's saying, that she's finding herself making sure that she doesn't respond the way that she did previously because she doesn't want to go back to where they were before. I can respect that, but I feel like Joy needs to draw the line somewhere when it comes to disrespecting her husband, because if the roles were reversed and if Joy spoke that way about Quick, then Ashley would very much so have a problem with it. Ashley sitting there saying that she feels that Clifton is sassy and that he wanted to fight her, and him doing like this and standing over top of her are all signs of that to her, where Joy says, that's not how I saw it, but I'm going to respect how you felt in that moment. But I know my husband and he wasn't being aggressive. Ashley says at this point, they don't even have to talk about Clifton. Clifton doesn't matter to her and she doesn't feel anything when it comes to him. That's a lie, because if you didn't feel anything, then we wouldn't have to keep talking about it. Ashley says that she feels like Clifton had an issue with her from the first day that they all met up on film, which we get a flashback of Joy saying that she was going to be on this panel for this single mothers conference, and how Ashley responded to it saying, but you're not a mother, that Clifton didn't like that. He didn't appreciate that. Ashley didn't feel like it made sense for Joy to speak on that panel. And I have to agree, I don't either. If I'm a single mom, I don't want to get advice about being a single mom and navigating as a single mom from someone who is not a single mother and who is newly experiencing what it's like to parent. And even in that, it's not her biological child, it's her bonus child. It's Clifton's children that she's doing this with. And we don't even know what that dynamic looks like because we haven't even really heard her discuss that on the show. Joy says many people cannot handle your boldness, and Clifton may just be one of those people that your boldness sometimes comes out so, I guess, I don't even know what I wrote. Something about how the way that she speaks sometimes and her tone, that the love isn't in it. Clifton doesn't know how she is, and Ashley feels like Joy should let Clifton know that she doesn't mean any harm when she says what she says, that, you know, she's just sarcastic or she's blunt. And I don't feel like that's her job. I don't really feel like Clifton had a reason to have a problem with Ashley for saying that maybe Joy shouldn't have been on that panel. But obviously there was something in there that Ashley picked up on that maybe the rest of us didn't in regards to her and Clifton. But Ashley will never admit her fault in some of this dynamic as well. Because if you keep coming at his wife and you keep having issues with his wife, you have to think at some point that he may be bothered by you. And then on top of it, you reveal that they were already married, which is something that they didn't want revealed on the show. So he has reasons to have issue with her. Joy is now trying to contemplate what life would look like with her having the both of them in her life, but existing separately, because she does want them to be okay, because they both miss one another. And I just don't understand how this could even be something that you contemplate. I feel like that is your husband. This is someone that you took vows with. You can't put a woman who you barely know over him and his feelings, especially because some of the problems that arose with him are for him trying to defend you. We then later see, Joy ends up walking over to her, sitting on her lap, telling her to hug her. It's very much, I'm coming to kiss the ring and I'm going to apologize and act like I'm the only person who did something wrong here, even though Ashley seems more reluctant to do so. But you all tell me how you felt about that scene, because I know I left some things out. We see it's Ashley's event and everybody shows up to support Ashley at her book signing, with the exception of Clifton and Joy. She invited Joy, but they were out of town, so she already let her know she would be unable to attend. She shows up late as usual. We find out that even though the various women were given the book, none of them have read it. They should have read it. And I feel like you all knew that you were coming to this book signing. You should have been somewhat versed in the book so that you can have something to talk about, questions to ask, or relate to what was being said. I have two friends that have written books. One of them is published. And as soon as his book came out, even though I had read little excerpts here and there, I rushed to Amazon and ordered it, even though I knew he was going to have a physical copy for me available. And the moment that I got that book, I read that book on a Saturday and finished it because I wanted to support my friend. Not only that, it was a good book. And I felt like, to me, that's just how you show up. Ashley says that she's hurt and she's disappointed and she thinks it's effed up that none of them have read the book. Quick's co-host is there to kind of move it along, so it's not just a thing where she's signing the book, but she's asking questions because unlike them, she read the book. And she also wants her to tell some of her story. Ashley talks about, her functional depression and what that looks like. And little Jamie is in there and he immediately is in tune with Ashley, as well as flipping through the pages. There are also other people there who have actually read the book. And I would like for them to come to the front and move the cast out of the way so that they can have more of an interaction with her. But later on, they make up for it. So Ashley goes off to the side as they set up for her to sign people's books. She speaks to her sister about being hurt that her mom isn't there. It's been months at this point, and she still hasn't seen her mom, and her mom is mad. Looks like they both have problems dealing with their issues. Her sister tells her, if you're expecting an apology from mom about the past, you're not really going to get it. It's just time for you to move forward. I hate when people say forgive and forget, because you can't tell someone how to process and how to feel when it comes to the things that are associated with their childhood, because that kind of forms some of your love map. And if she feels like she was abandoned at various points, then it needs to be addressed. You then see Raina talking about her wig collection, letting us know she's going to be doing a pop-up. She talks about this workout wig and how it's going to be great. And we see in confessionals that the workout wig is a baseball cap with tracks on the back of it. It's nothing new. It's already out there. We see her take pictures, Ashley, and sign autographs. And Rena then, after she's done, asks her if she's talked to Joy, because Rena is always going to try to do that. She lets her know they did talk and that she did invite her. But even though they're somewhat okay, she's not okay with Clifton because she doesn't respect him. And as he's saying this, you can see Jamie's looking like, oh man, here we go. We're about to talk about Clifton. Quick lets it be known that he has no intentions on having any type of conversation with Clifton. His wife felt disrespected and he's standing by his wife. He's not going to stop her from having a relationship with Joy. He's surprised that she was willing to, but he has no desire to have one with Clifton. And at this point, the men aren't going to rock with each other, and I don't think it's going to last very long for the ladies either. So we see Ashley and little Jamie meet up. This scene to me should always stay. She wants to check on him and make sure that he's okay because she knows about things that he's been struggling with. She said, unlike little Jamie, I didn't have parents who were willing and who wanted to go to therapy with me, but little Jamie does. However, when little Jamie was talking, I don't feel like that's completely true because they should have done it by now. He says that they have not been since the one time that they went, but they did text Doc. And my thing is, given the severity of the situation, if this is true, then go find someone else. Big Jamie is now retired. Big Jamie is getting on Raina about making sure they film TikToks and stuff like that because he doesn't have anything to do with himself. So Big Jamie, who is able to do whole scenes with retired police officers, should be able to make sure that he can do a scene, or I don't know, do something off camera where he makes sure that his son is good. I have a problem with that. If you're going to support him, then truly support him. Ashley says she's been going to therapy off and on all her life. And a lot of people, especially in the African-American community, feel like this is a negative thing, but it is helpful. And I've been going too, and it is helpful. There's a lot of things sometimes that you don't realize are there until you start talking about it. And it kind of puts things in perspective as to why you are the way you are, why I may have parented at some point the way that I parented, things of that nature. Little Jamie tells her that recently that he lost a good friend of his. His friend was 25 years old and they ruled it as suicide. That at 25, his friend wrote his mom a letter saying that he felt that he lived his life. How can you live your life at 25? He said to him it was such a big shock because nobody saw it coming. And he feels like, he had so much to live for. And unfortunately, this is what happens a lot of times. They are not times where everybody says, I want to harm myself. There are some instances where people don't want to be stopped, so they just do it. And it's unfortunate. Now little Jamie is wondering what he could have done to, see it or to help or anything like that. And Ashley tells him, 6 years ago, she was hospitalized because she tried to commit suicide. And it just puts things into perspective that here is this woman who looks like she has it all together, but at her core, she's struggling and she is depressed. And we can call Ashley a mean girl and we could say that she gets on our nerves because she gets on mine a lot. But there are some things underneath that surface that cause her to be the way that she is. And I'm not making any excuses for it. I'm just saying, instead of us spending this whole storyline on this stupid fight between these people, let's talk about the real stuff, which is stuff like this. She said she knows what she felt like 6 years ago, and depression is something that she constantly battles with. So that's why she's always concerned about little Jamie, especially when he made certain statements and his father thought that he did it for attention. I like this side of Ashley. Jamie thanks her for talking. And, he jokes about, how, I got to hang out with Ashley. It's a cute moment. I appreciate the scene. We then see Joy and Clifton. They head to the barbershop where he gets his hair cut because this is where they're going to be having his beard oil launch. Carmen also comes to look at the location. The owner, Sonny, tells them that they can have the middle and they could do whatever they need to do with it. Let him know if they need anything else. Carmen asks, what is everything looking like? He says he has the bottles ready to go. He has friends and family coming, but he lets them know that he only invited Yusha, Jamie, and he knows that Winter and Arena will probably come. Carmen is like, okay, you should have invited the other guys too. There's business and then there's personal. And Clifton says, this is my business and I'm taking it personally, basically. Like, he's going to invite who he wants to invite and he doesn't want to invite them. And I don't blame them. Why would you invite people who don't like you? If they're going to support, they can support from afar. Carmen said, Clifton says just because Joy and Ashley kind of made up, that has nothing to do with him. Ashley has the pants in that family and she runs the relationship and he just does not want to deal with the drama. Despite her husband being called a mean girl, we find out that Joy invited Ashley to her birthday party. I think that that's weird. Clifton says, unlike Joy, he wouldn't be able to invite someone to a party that he was having that he knew didn't like his wife. And I gotta agree with Clifton. I don't understand why Joy is moving the way that she's moving. You can't be desperate to have a friendship with Ashley, because even in the scene with her and Ashley, she seemed more apologetic about things than Ashley did, because in Ashley's eyes, I feel like Ashley doesn't think she does anything wrong. Joy feels like it will be okay, that no one will bring up any personal stuff to cause any issues at her party. We then get to this scene with Ashley and her mom. Ashley heads out and they're getting a foot detox. I want her to have this discussion more in depth with her mother first, off camera, before they bring it to camera. Because if you haven't talked to your mother in months, I don't think that this is something that should be televised, but this is what they're going to do, which means you're really not going to get to the core of things. Her mom wants to get back on track because she misses the family, but they're only going to get so far if neither one of them are really willing to listen and admit their faults, because they both have faults in this. Ashley says, I know you haven't read the book, because if you did, you would understand that I said being a mom of a teenager, at times I even felt like I want to run away. And her mom's like, I didn't want to run away. I didn't run away. And they go back and forth about it. And her mom talks about how your supporters say that I was chasing the D, and I wasn't chasing the D. And her mom feels like Ashley wants the world to think that she hates her, and she just wants it to go away. Ashley wants to address it. Ashley says, you're saying all those things, but if I really hated you, there's no way that I would sit there and I would not want to have my friends around you. Like, my friends love you, the kids love you. If I talk bad about you like that, they wouldn't want to be around you. Which is a good point. But I just don't care about this scene. Her mom says, I'm sorry for making bad decisions, and I'm sorry for hurting you. I sincerely apologize. What else do you want? And Ashley claims she wants nothing else. But you can tell Ashley isn't accepting this because she's still hurt by it. She says they need professional help, and they do. Her mother doesn't want to have this conversation anymore because she's felt she apologized enough. I got to be real. A part of the reason why I don't think that Ashley has accepted this apology is because even though her mother cries at the end, I don't think that she genuinely understands what she's apologizing for, and I don't think that she means it. She says, I'm sick and I'm not well, and this affects me too, and I just want us to be well. Ashley says, I want you to be in a better place too, but I can't fake it, and I can't forget it. Her mom says, I'm stressed out. You need to take me on a trip. She laughs about it. She says, I got to go on one because you're stressing me out. She says, I love you and I'm sorry. Ashley tells her, I love you too, but we need to go to therapy, which they do. If you go to at least 3 sessions and you do what you're supposed to do in those sessions and you participate, then we'll take you to Jamaica. And her mom says she'll make sure that she gets around to reading the book, and she will also make sure that she attends these sessions. And that's the end, basically. And I just want to know, did anybody read the book? Like, did anyone on the cast read the book? Did any of you read the book? Because I know I haven't read it. I had no interest in getting the book or reading it, because I kind of came late to the Love and Marriage DC circuit. But in watching this show and in seeing how Ashley acts, I still have no desire to read said book. You all, if you have not done so already, please like the video, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.